Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to today's video. Today we're gonna be doing a book haul. Literally, it's up to here. There's 15 books here. These is all of the books that I've bought in 2026. That is from January 1st until May 6th, which is today when I'm filming this. So, we should go ahead and get started because there's a lot here. Now I have read quite a few of them. Out of the 15, I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm in the middle of the 7th. So I'm doing okay on actually reading the books that I buy, but I have a kind of goal for myself is to only buy one book for every 3 that I read off my physical TBR, which at the time of this video, including these books, sits at 134 books. That is too many. I have read 20 books and I bought 15. So we are still net negative, but that's not where we want to be. We want to be net a third, I don't know, 2/3. So ideally I would have only have bought like 7 books or 6.5 books for 20 read, but here we are. So we're doing better than I have ever done before though, I'll be honest, and actually reading the books that I buy. So let's go over the 15 books that I've purchased this year. And I'm not gonna include Kindle books. I've definitely bought a lot of Kindle books, but those don't count. Reader math, girl reader math. Okay, I'm also gonna give you guys a little review on books that I have already read as well, and let you know plans if I have to read them soon, and if I don't. So the first book that I bought this year, and this one I bought because of book club, right? I think that's fair. I think that's fair to buy books that are because of book club. So I have 2 books that I bought because of book club. Really? That's it? Where's my book club thing? I think we've only had 3 book club meetings this year. Here we are. So, yes, one I got on audio and read it that way. That was Heated Rivalry. So, only 2 of the 15 are for book club, so that can only be my excuse for 2 of them. But the first one was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was a second chance author for me. I did not really like the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I just thought it was boring. I usually like historical fiction, and it seems like something I would like, and I feel like if I reread it again today, I would like it, but back when I read it, I did not. So I was very nervous to read this one, but this was actually a 5-star for me. So, not surprised. I think it was really good. So it's about this astronaut who, or this woman who wants to become an astronaut. It's her story from learning about the NASA program to being in the NASA program and what it took for her to get there. And it's also historical fiction, so it's based in the 1970s where this was like not really a thing that women were doing. And it's also a sapphic book, so the stigma around that within NASA and within the government in general. So I thought this was really good. 5-star read, highly recommend to literally everybody. There's no one who I don't think would like this book. And from what I've seen online, it's pretty realistic to what NASA is actually like. So bought that and I read it. Good for me. The next one that I purchased this year was the Leviathan Wakes. This is the first book in the expansion series. I bought this because I thought last year I was buying it, but I bought the last one accidentally. So I have the last one. So of course I had to buy the first one. That doesn't make any sense. But there's like 8 books in this series. Yeah, this says 8. No, this is, oh no, there's at least 9. So it's a thick boy, but the words aren't like that small or anything, and there's some larger margins, so you know it looks bigger than it is. It's like 500 to almost 600 pages, but it is a science fiction about, I don't even remember. Let's see. Humanity has colonized the solar system, Mars, the moon, the asteroid belt, and beyond. Jim Holden is an XO of an ice miner making runs from the rings of Saturn into the mining stations of the belt. XO means second in command, if you don't know. When he and his crew stumble upon a derelict ship, the Scopoli, they find themselves in possession of a secret they never wanted, a secret that someone is willing to kill for and kill on a scale unfathomable to Jim and his crew. War is brewing in the system unless he can find out who left the ship and why. And then there's a detective in it as well, so it's basically like kind of like a mystery in space, and that seems great. and I love science fiction, so happy to read that one when it comes up. I don't have any plans to read that at the moment, but if it comes up in my game in some other way, then I will read it, but it's not like on my imminent list. But I do want to read that because it seems quite epic. Okay, next is Graceless Heart by Isabel Ibanez. This was released in February, and I have read this one. No, this was released in January, and I have read this one. I bought this one because I needed a new release for January. Here we go. I liked this book. I was kind of thought that one of the like part reveals was kind of stupid, but ended up working out at the end. I think I gave it somewhere around 4 stars, but a sculptress, Ravenna Mephi, has always shaped beauty from stone, but she has a terrible secret. Desperate to save her brother, she enters a competition hosted by the most feared immortal family, revealing a dark power in a city where magic is forbidden. So she has magic, and she's also a sculptor. And so it's basically the city of Florence against the Pope and magic and secrets and all of that stuff. I thought it was good. It's the first book in a quartet, so I'm interested to see where it goes from here. Again, I thought the actual like twist was kind of dumb, but it was unique. So I've read that one though. Yay! That's 2 for 3. As we know, it doesn't stay like that. Okay, the next one that I got, Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter. I again have read this one. I thought this was cute. It has a very similar relationship dynamic. Well, not that similar to Emily Wilde. And the characters remind me of them, but where one is magical and the other is not. But I do like Emily and Wendell better than I like the 2 characters in this one, whose names are Agnes and Havelock. I read this like a month ago. But it's cute. It's basically this woman somehow ends up renting the storefront for a man who is like considered one of the like most dangerous magicians. And she's just trying to run her cat shelter, and he's trying to fight his war. So their lives collide, and it's cute, it's funny, it's has a lot of cats. If people like cats, I would recommend this. I think it, was good. It was a good book. I liked it. I read that for the February new release. Yeah. And that's why I bought that one as well. But I think I would have bought that one anyway. This was an impulse buy. I haven't read it yet. It is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. I believe it's like a slasher. When cinephile Jamie Prescott and her best friend Lori attend a speed dating event, Jamie expects to meet some mediocre men and indulge in street food afterward. She doesn't expect one of her dates to have his throat slit during a blackout. As more bodies hit the floor, it becomes clear that dating can be a very dangerous pastime. Armed, his name is not Ahmed. No one's name is Ahmed. Armed with makeshift weapons and Jamie's knowledge of what not to do in a slasher, the remaining speed daters try to find an exit while the killer adds to his body count. When Jamie comes face to mask with the murderer, she begins to suspect he is committing the slayings to woo one of the daters and turn them into a real-life final girl. But Jamie has other plans, and she fights for her life. She finds herself ensconced in love triangles with 2 other survivors. Will she make it through a bloodshed to find her happily ever after, or does this machete-wielding psychopath have another ending in mind? This seems fun. I know that sounds like, it's a slasher, but I don't read a lot of this genre, and when I was in the bookstore, I was like, you know what? This stood out to me, because obviously How to Kill a Guy in, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. I loved that movie, so it drew me in. So I'm hoping that this is good. I haven't read it yet. Hopefully I will read it sooner rather than later, but it's a newer release as well. The next book that I got also during the same trip, I got these 3 books during the same trip to a bookstore near my nail salon. And it is Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein. I have read this one and I liked it quite a lot. It's definitely a interesting story. So I didn't know, but it is actually a ghost story as well. But it is about this slave named Junie. This takes place right before the Revolutionary War, the Civil War. Takes place before the Civil War, which, as we know, emancipated slaves. And it's about her trying to figure out, find her place in the world, but also figure out what her family wants to do, basically. So there's a mystery where there's someone who passes away, and she's haunting her, and she's sending her like on these missions, and through those missions she figures out like what's going on in the world. She is the handmaiden to a white girl her same age, who like taught her to read, and they're friends, and that relationship kind of changes throughout the book. And it's about her like finding her freedom and finding out how to do what she wants to do and not what her family wants her to do, that kind of thing. So it's like a coming of age, but also slavery story. I thought it was good. I got this because it was a bookmark to be earned on Goodreads, and that is why I do these bookmarks, because this is not a book that I normally would have picked up. It is my second like kind of slavery read. And I really loved the first one as well. So maybe I do like these kinds of books. I don't know. I like books with war, but it's the beginning of the war. But anyway, this takes place in Alabama, 1860. Would recommend, definitely more eye-opening about like what it was actually like during that time for these people. So next book that I bought and have also read is How to Kill a Witch by Zoe Vanzati and Clara Mitchell. This is a nonfiction book about the witch trials in Scotland and like, you know, what happened there. And then it also kind of analyzes everything that happens to women these days and how it can relate to the trials that happened then and how women are still treated and how it's different and how it's the same. I definitely don't necessarily believe with or agree with all of the analysis in this book, but I did think it was very interesting and historical. When we think of witch trials, even a lot of the world, not just the United States, we think of the Salem witch trials, but there really weren't a lot. That wasn't as big of a deal as it was like in Scotland and in England, where thousands of people died. And it kind of went through like how the trials worked and what jobs were associated with it. It was a historical recounting of the witch trials in Scotland in the 15 and 1600s, or 14 through 1600s, when it was finally like outlawed and stuff. And then it has some actual like case studies on actual people that they like historical that they learned about. So yeah, I thought this was good. Again, another book that I have read and I'm proud to have read. I like this one. It's good. If you're interested in like historical fiction, but also the like actual real side of it, definitely check that out. I read it right after I read Wayward by Amelia Hart, which is about a witch in Scotland, but that's a fiction. This was nonfiction. So, okay, the next book that I bought, and it's a chunker, and I haven't read it yet, but it is The Will of the Many by James Islington. Yes, I got this at Target. They had a deal. It was like buy 2 get 1 free, and of course like there's also the additional 20% off the cover price if you have a membership. So I just felt like it was a good deal to buy a couple of books, so I did. And the next 3 books I all bought at Target. But this is definitely a book that I own this on audio, but I wanted to get it physically because I feel like this is a book that I will really enjoy reading physically. It is a fantasy, an epic fantasy that happened with The Pride of the Orange Tree as well. Like I bought the audiobook because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get through it because it was so long. But ended up reading most of that physically. So I'm really excited to read this. I think it's going to be really good. I really like the cover of this. I obviously haven't bought the second one yet because I haven't read this one, but the second one did come out, I believe, at the end of last year, maybe in December or November. I'm not sure, but this is definitely something I'm really psyched and hyped up to read. I think it's going to be one of those ones that I like dive into and just want to live in the world. So I got that one. Next, I got a thriller. I've never read anything by Riley Sager, but I bought this because I have been really liking mystery thrillers. It's not my general genre, but now I'm getting like more into those books. But also because, is this a thriller or is this a horror? Oh, this takes place in Maine. I didn't even know that. I'm from Maine. Interesting. I didn't even know that. That's funny. But anyway, I bought this because only is a word in my Herkyed quote, and I was like, oh, I need a book with only. This one I'm interested in. Let me just buy it. Stupid. But I did. I haven't read it yet. I will read it. Will I read it before the end of Herkyed? Probably not. But I bought it anyway, and I'm excited to read it. It's about... it looks like it's a multiple timeline, 1929 and 1983. And I don't know a lot about it. It's about a massacre that happened in this house, I think. So we'll have to see what that is about, but I am excited to read it. I do like more books like that. I was kind of scared for a while, but I've read a couple of that I have liked. So I want to keep trying that genre where it's like horror / mystery thriller, you know? Okay, the next one, I also got at Target, and I didn't take the stickers off, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but this one's not coming off as easily. I got In Her Own League by Liz Tom Ford. I don't know if it's Liz Tom Ford or Liz Tom Fordy, but I'm gonna say Liz Tom Ford. And it has sprayed edges, and I thought that was really cute that it like went with the actual book. And I bought this because it's a baseball romance, and I love baseball. If you can't tell from my channel, I love baseball. That's like my #1 hobby, is to watch baseball. So I have read one other baseball romance, and I really liked it. It's called, oh, Mark Vientos is in the way. I'm not a Mets fan, but my boyfriend is. The Art of Catching Feelings. I really liked this book. I thought it was cute. It had a lot of like baseball references, which I thought probably like added to it for me, but I'm hoping that this one does as well. It's about the first woman owner of a baseball team. And it's a spin-off from the Windy City series, which is Chicago Sports. I do want to read that, but I haven't like gotten to it yet. So I don't know if I'll read this first before I read Windy City, or if I'll read it after. While I was on vacation, my cousin's aunt read this one on her Kindle, and she said that she liked it. And we have similar tastes in books. I think she likes romance a little bit more than I do generally. Not really a romance person, but yeah, I got that book because I couldn't not, like, it's about baseball. I think this is the one that I was like, oh, I need to buy a book. I need to buy this because like, look at this copy. And then I was like, oh, but you buy 2 and you get 1 for free and then 20% off. Better get 3. So that's what happened. But basically, and this is on Kindle Unlimited, which I didn't know. And if I had known that, I wouldn't have bought it, but I didn't know. Okay, next we have got The Thorn Queen. This is, there's no way I got this one before. I got this one before that. So we'll go back to that, but I got Beneath by Ariel Sullivan. This is a new release that I read for the month of March. And I liked Conform a lot better. So this is the prequel series to Conform, which only has 1 book out. So I'm not sure I like how that order is going. So there's supposed to be like 3 trilogies, this is what I've heard. And the first one is like the main trilogy, and then there's a sequel series, and then I think there's something that happens in the future maybe. I haven't really, I don't know. This was considered like 0, and now it's considered #1 in a new series. So I don't know. I just read it, but it's basically about this woman who, right after like nuclear war happens, it's a dystopian. She ends up in this like underground bunker with a whole bunch of other humans, and there's like a society that's formed and all of that. And it's her story of like trying to save all the people, basically. It's pretty standard formula of here, I finished this yesterday, by the way. Here I am, and I have a scary past, and I don't want to let anyone in, and then the MMC is trying to let her in, and then there's something that's happening and people aren't who they say they are. It's like a pretty like standard romantasy dystopian formula. There is a continuity error in the first chapter, which really bugs me. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I wrote a review. I haven't seen anyone comment on that review yet, but I just didn't think that this was very good. I gave it 2 stars, I think. It was predictable. I didn't guess like who the mole was or who the like bad person was. Ignore that if that's a spoiler, I don't know. But yeah, it just wasn't that good. I was really disappointed in it. I finished it yesterday, so it's really fresh in my mind, but Conform was a lot better to me. So I don't know if I'm going to continue now with that series. Okay, the next one that I got is the one I'm reading right now. This is the book club book for the month of April. We're meeting on Saturday, so I'm only on page like 70 right now. Yeah, page 70. Here I am. And it's fine so far. So this is about, this is set in like the 1930s, I think. Yeah, it says Depression era America, but someone said 1939. I remember 1939 being a number in here, which I would think would be the 1920s was Depression, but I don't know. It's set in Kentucky. It's about this British woman who marries an American, thinking that her life will be better away from her stifling family, only to find that it is very similar and stifling. So the Roosevelt administration, Eleanor Roosevelt, created this thing, and this is based on a true story of a traveling library where women travel around their counties and lend out books and then go pick them up and that kind of thing, and it's trying to get literacy into people's lives in small town America. And she joins this thing, and I'm still at the very beginning of it, so I can't really tell you a lot so far. It's okay. I like it. I like historical fiction. I would prefer if there was some war, but there's no war. So, you know, this is right before the next World War starts, so it's between 1 and 2. Yeah, it's good so far. I can't tell you a ton about it, but it's by Jojo Moyes, and it's my book club book, and I hope to finish it in the next couple of days. Okay, the next book that I got is the second book in the Rose Bargain series. This is The Thorn Queen. I read The Rose Bargain last year. This is a YA, I believe, romantasy. Yes, I can't read this to you. And I read this book a while ago, but basically what happens in the first book is that this girl they do like the coming of age kind of Bridgerton thing. It's set in like around the time in like the Victorian era. And in the Wars of the Roses, instead of someone winning, one of the Roses winning, I can't remember which one won, but the Tudors, whoever the Tudors were, instead of them winning, a fake queen showed up and just killed everyone and took the crown, basically. And she becomes the queen, and she's immortal, and what happens is she's starting to marry off her son, and he joins this thing, and so everyone has to compete to be, his wife and become the queen or whatever. And in order to like attract people, you go to the queen and you like ask for, I want shinier hair, I want, brighter teeth, I want whatever to like make themselves more attractive for a potential husband. And but you have to give up something in order to get that. So like you lose a toenail, or you lose your memories, or something like that, And this is the sequel to that, so I am excited to read this. I did like that one. This isn't very long. It's actually quite short. It's just over 300 pages, and it's like a shorter book as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested to read the next one. There was a love triangle, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And yeah, that's the next book. The next one, there's only 2 left, I swear, is Seasons of Glass and Iron by Amel El Moher. And now this is the same author who wrote This Is How You Lose a Time War. I did buy this before reading that book, but this is her newest release. It is a series of short stories. And I think I'll get along better with this one because it is short stories, so I'll just read like one at a time and I can digest it and then move on to the next or do something else, It's not a very long book. Looks like there are quite a few short stories though. And the first one, Seasons of Glass and Iron, did win a like short story contest, like a really like prestigious one, maybe the Hugo or something. I can't remember which one she won, but yeah, it's I did read The River Has Roots by her as well, which I did like, so kind of up in the air on this author, but I am excited to read this. I'm going to read it pretty soon, actually. I need to read a collection of short stories for my Simless Society challenge, so this is on my TBR for this month, not the official TBR, but I'm hoping to read this month. And then the last book that just came, I believe yesterday, is a new book by Nisha J. Tooley. And if you don't know her, she wrote the Trial of the Sun Queen series, which I don't think gets enough hype. I thought that was a very good series, especially the first book. And then the last book was pretty good as well. It wasn't like Throne of Glass, but it was on the same like scale, if that makes sense. So this seems to be about a dystopian based in Manhattan, because that is Manhattan in the back, and then you actually open it up and here we have Manhattan. So for 19-year-old poet Graves, New Manhattan has always promised safety if she obeys. Raised with the ruling houses and betrothed to a powerful heir, she enters the Amory Academy knowing her future has already been decided. But Amory is nothing like she imagined. Its trials and brutal, its loyalties conditional, and its rules designed to expose weakness. As Poet struggles to survive, she must hide the truth that could get her executed. The storms don't fear her, they answer back. When a dangerous outsider from beyond the city's walls enters the academy, Poet is drawn to him despite everything she's been taught to believe. He threatens the life she's been promised, and choosing him could cost her not just her future, but her freedom. Now, I feel like she's gonna have some sort of magic. I don't know what the magic is, but I'm gonna guess it has to do with storms, since it's called Stormbreaker. Like maybe she can do lightning or something. I don't know. It looks like she's having a hard time there. But I really liked Trial of the Sun Queen. So when I saw that Nisha Tooley had a new series out, I was like, oh, I need to buy this. This came out like a couple days ago. So I am excited to read it. Let me know if you would like me to review it or do like a reading vlog or something. I'm excited to read it. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it's a standalone. I don't know if it's a series. New Romantasy Obsession. So I don't really know what this one is about, if it's a series or not, but perfect for older teens and up. So it's YA. The other one, the Trial of the Sun Queen, was not YA. At least not the later books. The first book might have been, no, it wasn't. So that's it, you guys. That is the 15 books that I bought this year. I have a couple of pre-orders, like the Ballad of Fallen Dragons, but I am going to try really hard to hold off on buying new books. I think that the other one that I really have my eye on is Yesteryear. That's the one about the trad wife, like influencer who wakes up to actually be a trad wife. And I feel like that's going to be picked for my book club pretty soon, so I do want to read that one. But that is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what books you have bought recently. What are you reading when it comes to new releases? And I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys.